Wolfenstein 2 was one of the hardest platinum trophies out there. Coming in at a 10 out of 10 difficulty, it ranks higher than other popular platinums like Black Ops 3. Now, I attempted to get it, and after the first mission, I realized very fast that I was way out of my element, seeing as I had never played a Wolfenstein game before, and had no idea who any of the characters were or what was happening around me. Much like President Biden on his daily job.
Look at this dude.
Anyways, instead of torturing myself for many weeks straight with this game, I decided to platinum the first Wolfenstein game that comes before it, so I have a better chance of knowing what the f is going on when I attempt it later. So in today's video, I got the platinum trophy for Wolfenstein: The New Order. It has 51 trophies and comes in at a 6 out of 10 difficulty. The only reason this game isn't a 10 out of 10 difficulty is because you can cheese the Uber playthrough and only do the last mission on the hardest difficulty.
I'm pissed off.
Phase 1 of this trophy is to play through the entire game on any difficulty and collect all the perks, collectibles, and beat each mission. I started off on the second highest difficulty, and at some point within, I just turned it off because I realized it was basically useless to play on it when I didn't need to. The first mission throws us right into the action, and we are in a bombing plane with our homie Fergus, who is a hilarious side character, and at the end of this mission, I saved him instead of the kid who shit his pants out of fear. But before all that, we have to make it to Deathhead's compound because he is the main villain in the story, and we really want to kill him because if we don't, the world is gonna end for anyone without blue eyes. Don't tell Kanye. After shooting a few enemy ships out of the air who have insanely cool technology, we get a trophy. But this didn't really help because we all crashed shortly after anyway. Apparently this world is set in a time that is somewhat in relation to real life, but they have giant robot dogs straight out of the new Transformers movie, and I honestly pissed myself the first few times they jump scared me. We swim underwater for like 200 meters and can apparently hold our breath better than your girl can.
We don't have to go there. I mean, you're not wrong.
Finally, we reach a turret and take out the metal guard dogs with it, who are trying to eat our ass. I then go into the trenches to make my way throughout the facility, and on my way I pick up multiple perks for stealth, assaulting miners, Nazis, stealth again since I'm such a Chad and played this first mission the way God intended, and I even got a throwing knife trophy without even throwing a knife, just for picking it up. I also manned a turret and just held down the shoot button for as long as the Lord above would let me. The boys all do some parkour and my fat ass makes us all fall down, really making me feel like Lizzo right now. After awakening inside a horrifying room full of DIY science projects, we end up running into another room, which is slowly crushing us as the game's villain watches intensely from the room next door.
Yo, Zen, get your boy, dog.
After reaching a climax, we pass out. Getting old is rough. And we are faced with a decision on who to save because the big bad boy only wants one of these two fine specimens. Now, Wyatt is the young private who honestly has no idea what he's doing, but he's pretty funny. And Fergus is the old vet who actually knows what's going on and is also pretty funny. He just doesn't have an annoying voice like Wyatt, which is the only reason I decided to kill Wyatt. So I saved Fergus like I previously said. We then somehow escape out of our handcuffs and jump out the window like a Middle Eastern person with a big backpack on. But on my journey into the sea to go see Nemo, I got domed in the head with a bunch of metal shrapnel, which puts me into a coma for 14 years, and we watch a time lapse as the Nazis take over the world, and this baddie takes care of us. Very intensely and deeply, if you know what I mean. And apparently I was just soaking up the attention and free healthcare because I was completely fine and just threw myself back into the action to save the hot nurse after the Nazis kill her family and steal her away from us. Now on this mission, I was still playing on the second hardest difficulty, and after dying many times and making this mission a lot longer than it needed to be, I ended up changing the difficulty down to, I'm pretty sure it was the easiest or one of the easier ones, because I just couldn't be bothered anymore with the flying drones who kept on killing me.
Your little pussy belongs to me.
Nonetheless, we saved the girl and escaped to her grandparents' house. I'm pretty sure they were her grandparents. I honestly don't know, but they're old people.
90% of the time, I have no idea what the f I'm talking about.
We accidentally took a Nazi general with us, however, and he ends up in the basement, and we reenact the Texas Chainsaw Massacre on his blue-eyed ass. Next, we go on a family trip into the enemy's base, so we can get something from them. I honestly don't remember what the objective was for this mission, but I got some trophies for using the silent pistol, which is honestly a lot of fun, because as long as you don't take out a man in front of another man, you can get done with all these missions very easily. At the end of the mission, there is a super hard boss fight with two of these giant-ass robots who tank damage like there is no tomorrow. Like, these things throughout the entire game have so much goddamn health, it's ridiculous. You have to put so many bullets and explosives into them to even just get close to killing them. But I finally killed them after using a ton of turrets, since those do a lot of damage. Next, we end up on a train because we are trying to get back into civilization, seeing as there isn't much fun out in the country besides drinking moonshine, shooting guns, and listening to Morgan Wallen. But on our train journey, we get cock-blocked by these two crazy lovebirds who definitely do some wild shit in the bedroom. The lady makes us pick pictures of random stuff, and I honestly thought she was about to pop my head off, but she was just playing with us the whole time. Little psychotic f***er. We bring back the coffee to our lady and then do YouTube age-restricted things.
Made me happy, made me smile. Nice. That's what I paid for.
We wake up on the train and it's no more sexy la fun time anymore, since we made it to the prison holding the resistance, which contains like 5 whole people. We sneak around the facilities until we reach all the homies who were chained up in a room together, and we set them free like a good man would. We even got reunited with Fergus, our homie from like 14 years ago, and shockingly, he hasn't aged a day. Now that I think about it, basically nobody has. This game is so unrealistic, I bet my balls didn't even drop. On our way out, we fight through hordes of sinful men, and I get a trophy and a new perk for shooting my gun while running, I think. I don't really know. I also stole the wallets from all the soldiers so I could get me and that baddie we are with a nice home once the war is over. Fergus takes us to the Resistance home base, which is literally right below the enemy's base, and somehow they don't know we are there. Next, we go to the London Nautica so we can gather some of their research they have there and steal a bunch of helicopters from them, since we couldn't do that anywhere else apparently. Our homie kamikazes himself since he has nothing else to live for, and we get chased around by a metal dog who has gotta be chafing in the world's worst possible place. After making our way through the facility, we find a giant laser rifle, and it's about to become Halo in this motherfucker. Nope. But before all that fun, I need to shoot a few men quietly so I can stay in the closet a little bit longer. Oh yeah, and it was also for a trophy. We get put up against an even bigger robot, which really makes me think if it could get any bigger. After a long cutscene with the whole gang, we end the day with a nice wet smooch after I murdered a whole family of people 10 seconds ago. Then we end up in prison again, but this time it's more of a forced labor camp, much like how I imagine it is to work at Amazon for Jeff Bezos. Anyways, we are looking for this one dude who has been in there forever, since he apparently has a ton of secret info on the Nazis' research and weapons, which we want because they are simply better than us. So we go into places we aren't supposed to. None as scary as the butthole though. Hey, yo. But we do get jumped by another psychotic enemy leader who goes by the name The Knife. And I showed him who The Knife really was by stabbing his ass in the neck so he can truly become one with the knife like I know he wanted to. I also stabbed a different man and got awarded in addition to my other many stealth kills and stabbings. We then grab the old man and try to escape, get caught, and the old dude sabotages the robot and it stabs the one girl in the face, making her look more beautiful than ever. Then we take the big robot we just used to sabotage the whole place and escape with it easily, seeing as it's one of the most powerful items in the game. Subnautica came out around the same time as this game, and apparently underwater games with cool vehicles was trending then, since we have a similar mission where we just swim around in the sewers all day and probably smell like putrid fecal matter after. After getting out of the water, we reach an enemy base which is down here for whatever reason I don't really know. I actually died a bit here, which was annoying since I just kept running out of ammo and didn't have anything to shoot that big old enemies with. But I eventually did it and found out that the point of the mission was to steal their little train car and load it up with a ton of resources and weapons of mass destruction. We then end up underwater on a submarine, and I throw back a grenade at these idiots who are all grouped up and get a trophy. Me and the boys then enter our diver suits and go to a secret weapon they have, which is hidden away behind a ton of things and is way more advanced than anything I've ever seen come out of the 1900s, aside from the microwave. In this room, there is a ton of weapons and gold. So much gold, in fact, I stole it all and got a trophy. In that room was a hidden weapon that looks like the forbidden grenade from hell. It is so traumatic, as a matter of fact, that the main character we play as finally has a realization into what the f he has been doing and low-key regrets what he has done. But we still have a mission to do and have to walk through all these train cars full of failed birth control kids and get trophies throughout, mostly just from perks. We finally reached the train car we were after, and it's the one that was hanging almost into the water. There's a scientist on it who has a white suit, and apparently that's so special, we decided to cosplay as him. So we steal his uniform, and somehow it fits me. I'm not sure how we're the same size, but who cares? We use that uniform to sneak onto the moon, and then we also use it to sneak into the back rooms and grab our weapons so we can then go kill everyone there like a true Chad. I even end up farming some perks since I realized I had like none of them, and that's a major part of this game's trophy system. Apparently we got what we came there for because we kill this last dude and take his escape pod back to Earth and get welcomed into office as good as Trump did. After jumping out of my falling ship that's burning, we Spider-Man swing into a window, and this dude is just having the most unlucky bad day ever. Like, no matter how bad your day is, it couldn't gonna be worse than this guy's. I also got a perk for getting killed with more of my weapons. This mission is pretty bland until the end when we have a full-on boss fight with the London Monitor, which is like this giant-ass robot who loves to torture the poor British people. You can kill it pretty easily by just hiding and then popping out to shoot whatever you see is glowing red and wants to be touched. I do it without dying once since I'm on a very easy difficulty and I don't feel like suffering today. A flashback happens to the first mission and we feel bad about what we did still, but I don't. I'm pretty sure we got that flashback seeing as we are on the final mission of the game and we finally get to confront Death's Head, which is that raisin testicle looking motherfucker. And I actually attempted to do this final mission on Uber difficulty, which is the hardest in the game. Mostly just because it's required you do this because it's for a trophy. In fact, you get 2 trophies for beating the final boss with it. I unlocked a random perk with my laser gun, but after an hour of dying in the same place, I decided to just finish the game on the easiest difficulty so I know what to expect later on, and I was going to go back and find all the perks and health upgrades so I can have an even easier time and a better chance of actually winning the fight and beating the game. So I went back and restarted the mission on the easiest difficulty and did both the boss fights fairly easy. Oh yeah, we also got kidnapped by that lady's boyfriend or whatever, and we killed him right in front of her, and she didn't look too happy.
Shut up, bitch!
Now, before attempting the final mission once more on the hardest difficulty, I wanted to go back and basically clean up the entire game so I was like the highest possible level of being. Almost like how the Nazis believe they are since they have blue eyes, which is apparently cool. After around 3 hours, I got every single perk upgraded and all the health upgrades except for the grenade perk line, which I will get into after this final fight. Being completely leveled up was a huge help since I had like 60 more health points to assist me in not dying throughout the mission. I ended up getting most of the way through it without much trouble at all, and on the very last fight section, it wasn't even that bad. The only hard part was finding my whereabouts because I low-key got lost and died multiple times trying to reach both gun turrets so I could shoot down the little blimps in the sky, which for whatever reason are tied to this boss fight. But after eliminating both of the blimps and taking down Deathhead's mech, I recharged my armor, health, and grenades and then jumped down for the second part of the boss fight, which mostly just consists of me spamming rockets, the laser gun, and grenades into a poorly lit room which is on fire. And I'm not sure how I didn't die from the heat exposure, let alone the smoke. But we did it without even dying a single time, which was honestly awesome. And he sets off a grenade right next to our face in an attempt to take us out with him, which somehow barely even does shit to me. I guess the plot armor is real. Now with the difficulty specific trophies both done, all I have to do is unlock all the grenade perks and then replay the first mission and save Wyatt instead. But Lord have mercy, these grenade perks were complete bull. I don't even understand how in the people did these on accident or easily because half of them I tried for an hour straight and didn't get. The vaporization trophy, which requires you to kill 5 enemies with grenades indirectly, was actually cancer. You have to shoot the enemy before he throws the grenade in his hand, but for whatever reason, the window of time was literally smaller than your penis. The timing has to be absolute perfection or else it simply won't drop a grenade. I finally did that one, and the other few weren't horrible once you know what to do, but it did involve a lot of checkpoint resetting, which was still a major pain in the ass. I then saved Wyatt and jumped over to the last mission to kill some enemies with my dual-wield rocket launchers to finish off the platinum trophy. Overall, this game's platinum isn't horribly hard, it's more just annoying. Like, the individual perks are just stupid and very tedious to do, and it's primarily the entire game's trophy list is just full of the perk trophies. So much so that it made me rage quit a few times and not even want to play the game anymore. But honestly, the story is great, and I wish I could go more in depth with it since there's a lot to learn about each character. Anyways, that was the Wolfenstein Platinum experience.